Yeah,
So before I got on the water, I changed all my contour line settings. I did them in 2 foot increments, like red was 1 to 3, orange was 3 to 5, yellow was 5 to 7. Well, so I compact everything in because it's so shallow. I do that when I go like James River, Tonker, and all that. Well, I just went out there and uploaded all my waypoints on my scoping graph, which I use for chart during the non-scope periods, and it was still on my old shading. That's exactly why they were where I called them.
Really?
Yes, dude. Because I run 5 foot increments usually, so it actually showed the shading while they were there.
Yeah, you need to get a lake master.
Probably do. Charmer's alright. I mean, it's good, but.
So you got a honey hole file.
No, I'm just saying, I started, when I noticed that, I started looking at all the waypoints I made. Every motherfucking one of them on the same dang thing. Every one of them, the same thing where the contour lines do what they did. I was like.
When they do what they did, I love when the contour lines do what they did.
That's what I'm doing too, where I'm fishing.
Yeah. To be
I
honest,
mean, it wasn't, you're talking like a 1 foot increment, but I did notice when I caught them fish, when I was looking at live scope, like I'm going, it's just the same flat deal.
Yeah.
And then where they come up busting, once I got up there, I noticed there was like a 1 or 1.5 foot rise. I'm like, dang, it's a little high spot out there.
Huh.
And then another spot I found, I noticed there was a little high spot.
Yeah, it's a hard spot.
They on them hard spots.
It's a hard spot. That's all I'm fishing is hard spots.
Carolina rigs only on the left half of my front deck this week.
That would be cool. Why didn't we ever play with white balls?
Then they totally disappear.
Why did you only want to play with the orange one?
Everything's white in here.
I mean, that ball is juice. That's why he beat us every game.
Yeah,
Right? He got him on one game.
I don't like
You
it.
playing with the same ball.
Every time before you serve, you look at it like roll around.
Okay, for folks at home, we're talking about ping pong balls, not nothing else. Yeah, ping pong balls, but.
There has been some fierce competition in the house.
I haven't got to
It
compete
was fun.
yet, so.
We kind of forgot it was
I might-
out here
I might
until
get
this afternoon.
Drew's pretty good at ping pong.
Yeah.
I have to get him back. We have a pool table far more often than we ever have a ping pong table. And when there's a pool table, I don't even hardly try because I get whipped so bad. Like, it's rough. So when we got
You
ping
can
pong,
tell he was pumped about ping
I
pong.
try to get my money's worth.
We're pretty evenly matched in pool.
I've only played today. Was the second time I've ever played.
You
ping
played
pong.
at St. Lawrence last year.
Ping pong.
Yeah, you played
Where's
last
your
year.
ping pong?
Yeah, we did.
He was too busy trying to set the record on the
Remember
pop shot all the time.
Remember at the
Oh,
practice house
yeah, but
down
I
in
never
Racing?
played. Y'all did. I did the
The
basketball.
basketball, yeah. That was a cool
job.
house, but
Yeah, it was.
I wish we were at the St. Lawrence, but we're here at the Harris James.
Big hair.
Florida's finest.
Yeah.
What do you think of the fishing here on the Harris James?
I'll tell you what.
Who
It's,
wants to go first? I think Jake finished highest at Conroe, so he has to go first, right?
Yep. What was the question? What listening?
What do you think about
What do you think of the
Harris?
Harris?
I think it's a big, giant dose of reality this week. Like, it's kind of been it's really been tough for me anyway. I'm getting like 6 to 9 squirrels. I'm not really slowing down in the areas, so hopefully, like, I just don't realize it, but we found one of those magical Florida places where they're just living and coming to. But I don't know. I'm not catching any big ones, and I'm not getting enough bites. So it's, this week and this chain of lakes is all about really where you spend your time and how you strategize and kind of. It's like. It's so different than any other place just because you can literally make or break the whole entire week just by what lake you fish.
How you practice.
And I do feel like after 2 days of practice, I decided because of how tough everything was, I was going to spend all of my time in Griffin, kind of put all my eggs in that basket. To me, I felt like that was the largest population on the chain that I'm like familiar with from history.
That we knew was probably still all alive.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Yeah,
Right. Get into that later.
Yeah,
But I put all my eggs in that basket, and it's pretty clear to me after 2 days that's probably not where it's going to be. One, it'd be cool if it was. I'm going to be a little disappointed because I feel like I've been all the way around it like twice now. But
no, that's the smart move here. With 2 days of practice, so like, I went the opposite route. Day one of practice, I put in a Dora And, you know, I spent the whole day in Durham and Beauclair. And then after that, you know, I'm torn. Do I go to Griffin? Do I go Harris? Houston? Like, where else do I go? And it's like, if you don't spend both practice days in the same zone, you end up entirely wasting your whole first day of practice. You know what I mean? Like, if I went to Griffin after fishing Dora, I logistically cannot fish both of those.
No.
So I would be totally wasting a whole day of practice and banking my tournament on one day of practice. So I kind of went the opposite approach, and I spent day 2 of practice I fished Harris, Eustis, and then the Dead Sea, Apopka, for the last little bit of the day. And yeah, just trying to find a few areas in that zone that I could, you know, maximize my time. But it's gonna be a grinder. I don't see this one being a runaway like Conroe was. You know, which I don't think we really seen that coming. The way the waves were.
No, we thought 20.
Yeah, we were all grinding blue.
I know.
Like,
And
it was
then
kind of
we showed up and it was a smash fest. And I didn't get the invite to that one, but
I think at that one though, to be honest, I think we were kind of bogged down by the history of Lake Conroe and kind of the chart of Lake Conroe. We even though we had found some good stuff, it's just that like the history of the lake and what we had expected it to be had just convinced us so strongly that, you know, although what we found was pretty good, that it really wasn't as good as we thought it was, because it couldn't be, right? Because it had never been that good there. And it was. And I don't feel as though, if this one is, it's not going to be like Conroe, because Conroe was 80% of the field fishing in a 3-mile zone.
well,
and
and
this
it was
one,
mayhem in the first period. This will be more of a slow and steady.
in this one, 80% of the field hasn't even seen the whole place, which means that this tournament, I mean, generally speaking, it happens here, but this tournament will be dominated somewhere. And
There's untapped water for sure. I bet you there's water that hasn't even been fished by anybody.
I agree.
Oh, it has to.
It's like there's so much fishable water here. on
This
the
playing
Harris
field
Trail.
is a logistical nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
And we were talking about this on the way back from the meeting, but Harris and Florida in general reminds me a lot of St. Clair, and like how it's not random, but like it's almost good fortune that you just
There's
happen
no
to stop your
contours.
boat where you are, because there are no contours. And that's
Griffin,
what I
Griffin
need.
especially.
Yeah,
With the way
yeah.
the grass grows out there. Like
It's just forever.
there's no
Like,
contours or anything.
No.
Well, Spencer just said he found some contours out there. He found them on the map. Huh?
yeah.
Did you find any more juice?
The way the contours be contouring.
My wheels are here spinning right
Yeah.
now thinking about it.
Yeah. That means you're gonna win.
That would be kind of
What
cool.
do you think?
If somebody said we'll give you 30th place right now and you go home, I promise you, I will pack and leave tonight.
Dude, I'll walk it.
Same.
I walk back to the city. You give me 30th. I'll start now. I'll be there by Saturday morning.
I think I can
You can at least be north of the alligators after 6 or 8 hours.
Yeah.
Realistically,
I have seen
I
some
think I can
big
catch
ones.
8 scorables a day. Realistically,
8 a day.
I mean, dude, that's pitiful.
It is.
That is
It's-
rough. I mean, I'm sticking with my same goal as always, 5 a period. Like, I want to catch 5 per period.
Man, if I could do that.
Yeah, that'll be.
Whoa.
I would take 15
If I
more
caught
days
5
right
a
now.
period, there would be a party on the boat ride back going through the Dora Canal
Yeah.
to Dead River.
don't
I
know,
would be
man.
cranking it up. Me and my boat official would be jamming. I would stop. There's a little place in the Dead River that's a restaurant. I would stop there and get snacks on my way back.
Hurricane.
He already
Just
said he thought
chill.
he'd catch 60 pounds.
I
on a
know.
period.
It's
No,
like, oh my
that's
God.
not what I
Yeah,
said.
Word's getting
I
around.
know.
At the meeting, I had somebody stop me and ask, like, have you heard, can Drew, do you think he can
Drew's
catch
gonna-
75 pounds in a period?
Yeah.
Better
Yes.
watch it there.
Drew's gonna
I'm probably gonna zero now because there's some expectations evidently. I figured out a way to
Let
catch
the
it
word
that
get out.
should be fairly fun if it pans out, but if it blows, it's not gonna.
5 a period.
But if it does, for 2.5 hours, we can do something fairly incredible.
Wait,
Um,
the afternoon, 2.5 hours, right?
what are
When,
we?
when you put the locks on.
No, I'm talking about the 2.5 hours when I
You
put
turn
on
that
those
screw
well,
Well,
underwater
Hey, what
binos.
is this thing even called?
This
What's that?
this
Yeah.
video, I don't think we have a name.
We need to call it the SANDBOX because y'all
The
all
SANDBOX.
I ain't never saying that.
The sandbox is
Sandbagger.
house name,
What?
everything.
Yeah.
The sandbox.
The SANDBOX.
Who was here? Oh, it was Tyler Brinks come over, and he was like, "Oh, dang, you guys are the Scoper's house. He's got all 4
He
Scopers."
did.
I was
Yeah,
like,
how
dang,
about that?
I don't know about that.
Mm.
I'm gonna be
It's
honest.
gonna be-
I may not even turn it on tomorrow.
So I've talked about that, but
But
even
like,
without,
why? Like it doesn't.
if
do
you're
anything.
if you're up there flipping and stuff,
Yeah.
but like what Spencer and I are doing, like
You
it
need
does
it
make you
as-
more efficient.
For
You can
sure.
figure out exactly where the edge is, you know, how to make that
Yeah.
cast. Not that you're actually seeing the fish, but or even really watching my bait. That's another thing this week. My scope has looked trash. Like I don't know if it's the pollen
It's
or
the water.
yeah, I mean we see this every spring, but it's just I'm not used to seeing it this early in the year. You know, it
These-
being so much.
These poor bass have to live in that water.
And that's another thing, is like the scope does, in perspective, really makes a difference.
It makes
when you're
you
throwing
so
chatterbait
efficient.
and stuff in the grass.
Yeah.
And I actually do think I could catch some actually out just scoping,
Yeah.
not fishing the grass. So it's like I'm gonna have to use my scope period to actually dedicate it to
Right.
that, and literally have to fish the grass blind all day.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like,
It's rough. It is hard. Like that was one takeaway from Conroe is it is a lot harder to fish off the bank than I thought it was without scope. Not even necessarily like throwing a fish, but throwing at grass lines or throwing
Yeah.
at brush piles or whatever. Like it's
You took for
We
granted the efficiency.
yeah. We got pretty
Yeah.
lazy on our
Dude, I got to
lineups
where-
and
I got to where I wouldn't even make like if I found a brush pile, like I would just scroll my cursor like
To
just
the
somewhere in the
area.
area
I know.
because I know I can just pan over
Right.
and find it. Like
Yeah.
it's faster for me to not troll over there and practice.
Mhm.
Just get somewhere close
It
but
used
now
to
it's
be-
like I need GPS pucks and like
I know.
everything perfect.
And it
Mine-
used to be you
Mine
put
at
a couple-
Conroe were not on because I had 2 piles. I sat there for 20 minutes trying to hit and never hit either.
Yeah, it used to be I'd put waypoints on the brush pile and then where your boat should be,
Yeah.
and I'd try and put my boat on that waypoint and make the cast. I mean, it's hard. So I mean, yeah, we've really taken it for granted. Even just fishing grass and stuff. Just fishing down the reed line or fishing down Kissimmee grass. You look, oh, there's a patch of eelgrass out there. Oh,
Yep.
caught one. Those fish are going to be gone for sure. But I don't know. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get my scope period out of the way first period and then lock me up and
Throw away the key.
get rid of it.
Mm.
Get rid of it.
Mm.
I don't know. I really don't know what I'm gonna do yet.
I'm
So,
not starting with scope.
This is one that, in the Bass Pro Tour, boat number doesn't really play a factor, but this is one where it actually kind of does.
Yes.
Because
It
of
actually kind of does.
boat elevators.
Because of the locks and the time to get from lake to lake.
Yeah.
So, if I'm a late boat number, so basically what I'm thinking now, I was just thinking this on the drive back from the meeting, that if you go all the way to Dora, you're gonna lose fishing time. Like, you're not gonna get to Dora before lines in. Honestly, you'll be maybe even in Eustis still when lines are in, because it depends how long it takes for the boats to get out, but I have a waypoint on my graph, I timed this when we fish other tournaments here. It's 20 minutes from the Eustis side of the Dead River to takeoff. 20 minutes.
To the mouth of the Dead River
On Eustis side,
Right.
20 minutes
20
from
minutes.
takeoff.
Okay.
So if it takes 10 minutes before I get out, after we take off at 7:15, if I don't take off till 7:25, it'll be lines in when I get to Eustis,
And then you got out on the door canal.
Then I got to idle the whole Dora
Which
Canal,
is
but
long island.
I'm thinking if I'm gonna lose fishing time anyway, I may just start in Eustis, because I got a couple places I could fish in there, and then I would never be able to make it back there throughout the day. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to use the time wisely and kind of game plan, but man, I don't know. It's gonna be a grinder. Maybe we totally missed something, but I don't see anyone running away with it fast and furious.
Which one's going to be the lowest weight tournament of the year? This one or Chickamauga?
Lowest weight.
Oh.
You talking about just on chick?
Lowest knockout round.
Not including Nick Jack. 'cause
No,
we'll catch 'em
lowest
on
knockout round qualifying weight. Because I think this one could be it.
Nick. It could.
It won't be Murray, it won't be Gunnersville, it won't be Potomac or Sag,
No,
it
no,
won't
no,
be K1.
No.
Yeah, it'll probably be this one.
I hope it
chick.
is for my sake. I
Or
need it to
chick.
be.
Yeah, I need it to be about.
More on the boat
25.
number thing. So, like I'm boat 56-ish, basically.
Yeah, I'm
Last?
60 something, like
Okay.
last.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. So I'm planning to run to Griffin. They only let like 10 or 11,
Yeah,
maybe
10,
12 through the lock at a time. And they don't open the lock until 8 a.m. So like we're all gonna get there, most everybody that's in an earlier number is gonna get there and still have to wait in with lines in for like 15 minutes. Yeah, 20 minutes.
You're
up
gonna lose
there.
30 minutes of fishing.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose like 40
If you're
because
the first
I'm
one
gonna
there.
be in the
Yeah.
second.
the second cycle,
Wave.
maybe third. I mean, depending how many people
And
go
like
that
me,
way,
that's
you know?
where I'm going is Griffin, and I'm like boat 22, so I know I can be one of the first ones through the lock, but if I
Yeah.
decide to stop short of the lock and fish it off, somebody's gonna cut me off, and they're gonna get to go through first.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's
How
like,
much of Haynes Creek is no wake? Before
a
you
decent part. There's like a section you can run, and then you have to idle for a while.
I'm hoping that I get
I've only ran
like behind somebody because I've never ran the actual creek, you know, or the
It's all
canal.
marked.
Is it marked pretty good?
Yeah, there's signs, but
Yep.
it ain't bad.
So on top of like a pretty terrible practice, I'm now looking at almost not quite a third of the day, obviously, but like
You're losing fishing.
I'm
time.
losing significant fishing time in a tournament that I need every single second of.
But
So-
everybody is, unless you're
Yeah,
staying
yeah,
there.
yeah,
and used
right,
to.
right.
So it's-
But what's so interesting, like normally I would just say like what you are, you know, you're kind of game plan going in of like I'm just gonna stop somewhere in Eustis or somewhere that I think I might could get a bite
yeah.
for 15 minutes and then run up there. But like as flat and as general as everything looks here, like it all looks the same. What are the odds that I stop out in Eustis on the right 100-yard stretch in the 15 or 20 minutes that I have? Like,
Zero.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So it's
I got
weird,
one
like-
place in Eustis where I had five bites. I think that's where I'm gonna start. And if I can catch a scoreable, it'd be worth the stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Just-
the thing is, like, what's lower odds? Catching one not fishing, or catching one fishing when you have no idea where they are?
Right.
And honestly, on this place right now, I feel like one could jump in my boat just as likely sitting at that lock when the gates open, the water starts flushing around.
Okay, here we go. You've been talking a big game. You're talking high teens of scoreables, and you're gonna catch an 8-pounder. You
this
got
is-
a 12-pounder
No,
hook
stop
yesterday.
it. Stop. It was not a 12 pounder. It was like 9 to 10. I have a very specific deal that could be really good if it goes right, because I'm looking for very specific stuff and throwing very specific bait. Hopefully you guys will get to see on live this week. If you don't, just know in retrospect, you know, down the road if you're watching this video,
It was very
just know if you
specific.
didn't see me on live this week, it did not go well. And it's either going to go really, really well because I put all my eggs in one basket, and it's either going to go really, really well or really, really poorly. Like I will top 10 it or I will finish worse than 50th.
I will go out on a very short limb and say that if
a short one.
a short, stiff one, that would. Brittany's going to have to cut that one out. I'm gonna still go out on this short limb and say if this was full scope, the whole tournament, Drew would run away with it, 100%. I think you'd have enough time during the day to refine and
Yep.
figure the deal. I think you would see an absolute, like, it's not a great analogy because there's 7 lakes on this chain, but like, it would be like he's on a totally different body of water, which, I mean, he is in some of the competitors, but it would be a really cool breakout tournament. Like, it's kind of cool what he's figured out. So I hope it works out for him.
I hope so too. But I mean, either way, dude, like we are here at the Harris Chain. It's the second stop of the season. You know, we got through Conroe and we've got one tournament with the new format in us. I think after we said this before the first one even happened, but between Conroe and this one, there's enough diversity in the approach to the tournament. Meaning Conroe was a tight playing field, community oriented, with everyone fishing the same approach in scope period as everyone else and in 2/3 as everyone else. And so it was a kind of compact beat the field tournament. This one is an estranged, massive, spread out, logistical nightmare suckfest. Okay, it's not. That's a little strong. It may not necessarily be a suckfest, but it is a little bit more of a challenge than Conroe was.
Y'all rate this on?
Which means
Yeah, it needs to be rated R. I never thought it'd be Drew that did it either.
I don't feel as though using the term suckfest is that dramatic. of a
Brittany
statement.
doesn't like the.
I just don't want to offend the Harris chain too much because I know what it's capable of. It can do some crazy stuff. I hope it does it this week.
It's got
but-
some fish in it. Like,
but-
there's gonna be some bass caught for sure. Don't.
I think after the first 2 tournaments, we will have seen just about enough different dynamics with this format to have a really good grasp on how it's going to play.
I would say after Murray, because it's not gonna factor much.
Murray's
into
going
this
to be the same concept as
Yeah,
as
you're
Conroe.
like gonna be the only one that's actually utilizing it the way we normally.
Yeah, like
I
it's
don't
not
think
gonna
that
get
many
used
guys
much.
are gonna be.
It's not gonna get used.
They're gonna
much.
do it
But
like
that's
me
the
and
point.
Spence.
Is at Conroe, everyone used it and everyone had to use it to compete. Like you're seeing that end of the spectrum and you're seeing this end of the spectrum in 2 tournaments.
But Murray will be a little bit of both, I think. So after Murray, we'll have a really good idea on how the strategy goes, you know, because
You
Murray.
mean when you have to catch them with both?
Yeah, Murray, you'll have to catch them with both. Like you'll have to have some scope fish, and then you'll have to.
That's a
have
very valid point.
fish to, you know. Whereas Conroe, you could catch them just scoping and not catch a bass the rest of the day.
That's
and
true.
Move on. And here, you could catch them just fishing and not catch one on scope and
And be fine.
So I think Murray will be the one where it's the blend, where
Yeah.
That's a good point.
the
That
weight
is.
will be so consistent everywhere, which I don't know. What are we thinking on weights? We got all off track the last video. We didn't pick any name. We didn't pick a winner. We didn't do weights. It's so hard to pick weights for the Harris chain. My gut is telling me it's gonna be like 55 pounds. Make the knockout round. 55 for 2 days.
It's a strong one.
Golly,
It'll be
that's a
tight.
lot.
It'll be tight. Like the weights will be really
Yeah,
stacked.
but like Brent was saying that it only took like 45, and
And
was
yeah,
it
they
last
were-
year?
No,
Santee.
they were here.
Santee, it took like 45 and 48 at Santee Cooper with an average size fish of 311. Average
But
fish of 311.
It's easier to catch one here than Santee.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Not where I
Like
live.
for me.
To catch a fish, you remember how bad
To
Santee
catch
was?
a
Yeah.
score, to
Yeah,
catch
yeah,
a scoreable.
Yeah.
I mean, I
catch
actually
it.
It's
put
easier to
something
catch
up
a
there.
fish.
Out there.
I gotta catch 8 of them on the bank. Catch one that's 180.
There's a lot of little ones, like little
Micros. Which,
tiny ones.
to be fair, if they could get the forage basin here to support them or the grass to support them, there are a ton of 12 to 14 inchers
Yeah.
ready to take over the
They're
Harris
all
chain.
that very well.
If-
I'm going way
if they-
low. I'm gonna
keep
say
it healthy.
37-12.
37-12.
I respect
37-12
it.
to make the knockout.
I
round.
respect it.
I just, dude, I don't see it. I mean, I really don't.
Well, if all goes well, Drew will have that. in
When I was here in May 3 years ago and fished the BPT, I made the knockout round with 39 pounds. No, I'll take it back, 39 plus 5. So 44, and I easily made it.
So yeah, I mean,
It only took 37 to make it, and it was good then, like legit. You
Yeah,
could
so
catch
that's
them.
That's what he was saying.
Now that was in a group of only 40 guys.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
only 66. And
Yeah.
the place is so.
You
I don't
still
think
gonna have the same
20
amount of guys that ain't
people
gonna
gonna-
catch them.
55 for sure.
Dude, that's wrecking them.
I'm going with 40.
That's
7
27
and a
a
half.
day.
There's no way I'd catch that. Not a
27
chance.
and a half a
High
I
day.
might could catch it one day, but I can't catch it 2 days in a row. Not a chance.
I'm gonna have to have like 2 big ones. And
Yeah.
still
Two
have like a
giants.
good day. Like,
Yeah.
You think anybody's gonna break 100 for 2 days?
I'm gonna have to have like 35 pounds one day. And
Yeah.
20
That would be
another day.
250
no, I'm not
days.
even close to thinking about that. I have
I
no
know.
idea. If they do, more power to them. But
What?
catching
100
100 pounds
for
in
2
2
days.
days.
Oh no! You
You
might
think?
if you think you're only. like that.
I promise you,
There's no way
I
could.
don't think anyone will. Not because I think that it's impossible, but because anyone in their right mind would not go out and catch that much weight if they're on that much because they know they could get through the knockout round by staying around.
No, you take the automatic birth.
I would personally,
Yeah, me
Absolutely.
too.
if
Like
I'm on something good, but I just don't know.
If that one place I found that I told you about, like if it's as good, I show up there and it's just miraculously really good, I'll
Or
catch
just chew it.
60 pounds off of them tomorrow if I can.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'll
There's
catch
no
a
backing
bag.
off.
But it's because I'm not confident that I can weather the storm wind-wise to deal with
I
another
know
day of wind.
the weather is going to be a big player the next 2 days. We got opposite direction winds for both days. We got a strong south wind tomorrow, and then it's switching to the west for the afternoon, and then Friday, day 2, it switches to the north. So the whole lakes are going to get all stirred up. Every lake is just going to be stirred up.
Everyone's gonna have stuff they can't fish one of the 2 days. So if you only have one thing to go off of, one of the 2 days you're gonna get cooked bad enough that you're gonna have to clobber on the other day if you want to make up for it.
Yeah, the wind has me pretty worried about my one little flipping area, but
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, I mean, are you even thinking about still going, or what?
oh yeah, I have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just gonna start in Eustis?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of work my way down. So
Are we even gonna address that in this video?
well,
Or
I
are you
mean,
gonna wait on it?
we can say I went to the Dead Sea, which if you guys aren't familiar, there was. I'm just gonna say supposedly there was a major fish kill on a popco because I went down there and I see maybe 20 dead tilapia. I didn't see a bunch of fish that everyone was talking about. I talked to a couple guys or not a couple guys. I talked to Bobby Lane coming out of the lock, and he said that there was millions of dead fish in certain areas. So maybe it was a different section of the lake that I wasn't in, but the area of Apopka that I went to, where I've caught them in the past, it was alive and well, put it that way. There was plenty of fish still alive, and I feel good I can go down there and get some bites. I had a pretty good last 2 hours of practice yesterday, and I really don't know what's there, what's in store down there, but just logistically getting there is such a nightmare. And I've got some fish on the way down there that I want to fish for in Eustis and Dora. And with being a late boat draw, I don't want to run straight there because surely there'll be at least 3 guys ahead of me going there, maybe 6, so I have to wait for 2 cycles. And by that point, I've literally wasted over an hour of the fishing time, sitting there waiting. And by the time I get down to the lock, so I just think logistically it's best for me to stop and fish my way down, pick off a few fish. If I could get 5 fish on the way down, that would be a miracle, and go from there. But I can confirm they're not all dead in the Popco.
You found the refugee camp.
They're not all dead.
Of all the texts that I don't read every day because I get too many, certainly appreciate them all, but I can't respond to all of them. I wish that I would have missed that text.
Yeah.
Because I really kind of wanted to go down there at least one day, but as soon as I got that text, I was like, nope.
Well,
I don't. Even if we'd have had 3 days, I would have at least still factored it in for an afternoon. But
I'm gonna be totally honest. I was burnt out with practice. I was done. I was just in a bad rotation. There were people in the areas I wanted to fish. I was idling in this canal, and one of the competitors come idling out, and it just made me mad. I was like, I'm not just gonna go fish behind people in these canals. This is dumb. I'm just going down to a pop cut. I want to just check out the fish kill. I really just wanted to see what it looked like see if there's dead fish floating everywhere. There was some fish biting.
The duality of
I think obviously, it kept you 3 away. I think it kept a lot of competitors away. I only seen 4 other competitors down there, 5 other competitors, and if that fish kill hadn't happened, I bet there would have been 60 competitors down there.
yeah. And
So-
logistically, that would have just made it an epic nightmare. I mean,
For sure.
Yeah, it would have been. How many
What's
is that?
Oh, dinner's ready.
Sweet.
Oh yes.
How many does that lock hold?
3.
3.
Logistics are the word of the
It's
week
tight.
at the Harris Chain, for sure.
Oh,
Logistics is the word of the week.
yeah.
To go from, you could not have 2 more polar opposite tournaments in terms of strategy from Conroe to the Harris Chain. Conroe was a beat the crowd tournament.
Yeah.
And this tournament is if you don't strategize it to a T and have spent your practice where it's happening, get where it's happening, use your periods right and your timing right with locks and canals and all this stuff. If you don't time everything right, you could be on the best stuff and not have a chance to even compete in this tournament.
Yep.
This is a logistics tournament, and your best strategist will win.
For sure. Yeah, it's
I don't
definitely.
know.
How do you
No.
strategize when you ain't got no fish fan?
Right, exactly. That's
Well, that's the
I don't
problem.
know.
Some of
I
us
mean,
have some fish.
I know
For
your
sure.
right. I agree with you on
Good for
strategy.
y'all.
That's not what I'm
Good
saying.
for y'all.
That's not what I'm saying. It will fall apart.
Oh,
This
I
is
mean,
what. Sometimes I got the feeling that it's just not going to happen, and I feel
Yeah.
just like I did at the end of practice at Santee last year.
you just have that gut feeling.
When you see something so incredible that you're like, regardless of whether it should happen or shouldn't happen, I'm just going to beat my head against the wall trying to make it happen because I've seen something too cool to ignore.
So incredible. I can't wait till after the tournament you can tell us all about it.
I hope it's as incredulous as I think it would be.
I'm just impressed that y'all know how incredible it is, and I haven't heard nothing about it yet.
He's been awfully quiet.
I've been trying to soak up the flavors of catching bass on the Harris chicken, okay? And it's
the flavors.
the flavors.
Speaking of
Hopefully
flavors,
you
we
got
got
I started getting
before
pictures,
camp.
and I started
Oh, I
calling.
hooked all of them just to see exactly how big all of them were, and I'm gonna come back and I've got a name now.
Same.
Heck yeah.
Same.
Mm.
All right, we need to pick the win. Who do you think's gonna
Yep.
win? I'm gonna go with a flipper. Andy Morgan.
What's he gonna catch the win weight was?
Final day.
Yeah, we're just going
Weight-wise?
championship thing?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It'll be 65 pounds.
I was gonna say 72.
Close. Andy Morgan, 65 pounds.
Hardcore.
Straight flipping. Straight braid, straight flipping sticks on the deck. Turn that live scope off, just flipping. I don't know if it'll be pads or reeds or Kissimmee grass, but someone is gonna win the tournament flipping.
Man, I love flipping. Never caught one
Yeah.
this week, though.
Dude, did you see that full moon when we were driving back? Them suckers are
It's
sliding up
bright.
right now, and it's
They've had it for
it's
like a
towards the
week.
tail end of the
I know.
spawn. So I mean, they're nestling out a little bit deeper in them reeds and Kissimmee grass and pads.
No, I'm hoping they're coming up.
Someone's gonna
It's a
lock
high
that flipping
driller.
rod with a Senko.
It's gonna be a sticker outer that wins this week.
That's
Somebody that finds
I'm gonna
one
go like
something that's really good.
Mark Davis.
I was about to
Davis?
say that. Yeah. Because he
had a
stuck
strong
her out.
showing at Conroe.
He stuck her
Griffin,
out
baby.
in Kissimmee
He's a
and almost
Griffin.
won that
Is
one in
Flipping too
23.
when I saw him.
I say
Like-
he was at Apopka last night.
Well, he was in Griffin all day the first
Andrew
day.
watched
I
with
mean,
me
he
at
just
Harris
real
yesterday
slow.
morning, so he's been all over the place.
He
Yeah.
has. I saw him in Griffin the first morning.
Yeah, I saw him there that afternoon. He's
I-
in the Aqua
I can see him from across the lake because
Bright blue.
that and he like sits in the weirdest like position. I don't know how he sits like that, but
Oh, that's a good
but
one.
if I can
I would love to
fish
see.
when I'm
Last
his
time,
age,
last time we were at Bass Pro Tours in Florida 2 years ago, he was leading up to the last freaking
Yeah,
minute.
Was it really?
Chris Lane won.
Chris Lane can't. Oh, that would have been so cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
He gets some revenge. I can see that. He'll have a good tournament.
yeah,
So is that your pick?
Yeah,
Mark
Wait.
Davis,
72.
72 pounds. Strong.
I'm going Nick LeBrun, 58.
58.
Nick LeBrun is a classic sticker outer with a set of skills that translates very well to Downey.
I'm going way off the charts. I'm taking Fletcher Shrye out.
Oh, yeah, that's a flip.
That's a
not
good
a
flipper.
flip.
63 pounds.
Yeah, that's a good.
53.
63.
Oh, 63.
Yeah.
I can see that.
yeah.
I can see that.
And I
for
hadn't
sure.
seen him in Griffin all week.
No.
He's
So
been
he's-
he's
no, he's
probably gonna win.
Get out of here.
I
Get
don't
out
think-
of here.
I really don't think Griffin is.
Somebody
where-
should pick Keith Poche though.
Yeah.
He's probably snuck up.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw him. He was like the whole boat out of the water on top of reeds, trying to push himself off back there in the marsh the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, I believe. Oh yeah. You think they're gonna smash him in that marsh?
He will.
Yeah, he probably found some little like that, a little bitty pond back behind the marsh.
You
But
think anyone's gonna?
I spent
just-
like an hour in there. I mean, I caught like 3, but I think it was only 1 scoreable.
So here's the deal.
High,
If we,
beat it
so
today.
we're in pretty much agreement that the weights are gonna be pretty low. It'll take 30 pounds a day to make the knockout round for sure, right?
No
30,
more.
that's
No,
It's
no.
60. I said 55. That's
That's
27.
solid, dude.
I know.
So,
I can do math.
I'm just saying, okay, I'm
but
just
that's
saying.
a lot of weight.
Why couldn't a guy
20 a
just?
day.
Straight sight fish and go find 5 big ones?
20 a day.
Why couldn't a guy just straight sight fish and go find 5 big ones? 20 a day. 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 20 a day
I'm not
Catch
convinced
five.
there's 5 big ones.
I would say
Yeah,
somebody
there's
tries that
any
this
lake
week.
in the Harris.
Yeah.
5, 6 pounders, you pick off a couple males along the way, and
Right.
you got over 30 pounds easily.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I think there'll be a few guys that do that for sure. And then, you know, you got your scopers, you got guys that are fishing the grass. I don't know. The more I talk about it, I think the weights may be better than we think.
Oh, my Lord, Dave. Ain't no
It's time to go
way.
eat.
We'll
I need to
see.
go to
Yeah,
bed.
I'm hungry.
Get
Let's
away.
go.
He's playing with us.
He is.
I am not
I'm gonna be
playing.
honest. We need
Yeah.
to have a tally sheet for like who thinks the championship round weight's gonna be higher, who thinks the knockout round weight's gonna be higher. Because I promise you can go back and watch all of these historical videos. If you want to make your own tally, that's up to you guys. But I think this would probably hold very true. I think Matt Becker always predicts the highest knockout round qualifying weight of anyone, always. And second point, honestly, I think he's statistically the closest to accurate of any of us.
That's probably true. I just don't want to hear
Which
it.
is
That's not
scary.
true.
That's what's the most depressing.
You always pick a higher weight than everybody else.
Spencer always is like, it's going to take 90
Okay,
That's
when
only if I'm catching them.
Toledo,
I'm catching them, right.
Toledo, Dale, and St. Lawrence was yes.
He's like,
Spencer
it's
was
gonna
it's
be
gonna take
140
140.
I mean, that's what I'm catching. I feel like if I'm catching them, everybody's
But to be fair, the tournaments that you said that horrendous, insane,
smashed them.
unbelievable stuff,
Yeah.
you did horrendous,
You
insane,
always back
unbelievable
it
stuff.
up.
So
No,
But- yeah, I don't know. Harris Chain, we gotta go catch some bass.
it's going to be a grind, but hopefully a few bite my cricket.
And you could cook yourself in heavy hitters in this one the whole weekend.
I'm already cooked in heavy hitters. I need to catch me an 8-pounder.
I'm just ready to do one of these videos, and I'm the only one in the house catching them. I'm like, oh, I'm about to whack them down like 10 pounds a day.
It'll be sad.
Shoot,
It'll be
everybody
platonic.
whack 'em there.
Potomac too. You're going to smash them
I'll
there.
catch them in the last one for sure.
Yeah.
But
I'm starving.
These
Let's
next
go eat.
3 are gonna be rough.
We'll see you guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in.
Thank you guys.